SLT Fibre and experience the power of fibre technology. Sri Lanka's only super fast internet connection. SLT Fibre. Call 1212 now.
Tonight, can proceed as planned. President told that bill to repeal implementation of death penalty is illegal. Broader alliance, UMP-led Democratic National Front before end August targeting elections. Looming termination. SLC sources confirm that Sri Lanka head coach Haturu Singha's contract to cease within 24 hours. Disputed territory. India strips Kashmir of special autonomy, prompting a furious response from nuclear-armed rival Pakistan. All this and much more coming up on First at 9 this Monday, the 5th of August 2019.
මුහුණ සති කීපයකට කලින් ෆෑරන් ලව්ලි මෙන් ගෑවට පස්සේ මාක්ස් අඩු වෙලා ෆෑනස් වැඩි වෙලා.
මාක්ස් අඩු කරලා ඔයාගේ ෆෑනස් ස්ටෑන්ඩඩ් එක වැඩි කරගන්න. ෆෑරන් ලව්ලි මෙන් ඇන්ටි මාක්ස් ක්‍රීම්.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
A very good evening and welcome to First at 9 on AdaDerana 24, Sri Lanka's news channel. I'm Katharina Chang. On to your top story tonight. President Maithripala Sirisena says that he was informed that the bill against the implementation of death penalty, which was presented to Parliament as a private member's bill by government members, is illegal. Addressing an event in Gampaha today, the head of state noted that such was informed to him by the Attorney General when he sought legal advice on the bill. A private member's bill was presented in Parliament last month to repeal the death penalty. As per the bill, any mention of the death penalty must be amended as imprisonment for life across all acts.
දැන් ගම්පහ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ තිබෙන විශාල සම්පතක් මුතුරාජවැල ප්‍රදේශය. මේ ආණ්ඩුවෙත් ඇමතිවරු සම්බන්ධයි මුතුරාජවැල ගොඩ කිරීම වලට සහ මුතුරාජවැල විනාශ කරන්න. දැන් මම දැක්කා අද පත්තරේ උදේ තමුන්නාන්සලාගේ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ මෙතන අල්ලපු එහා පැත්තේ මීරිගම. ඊයේ කසිප්පු බීලා 10 දෙනෙක් මැරලා කසිප්පු විස වෙලා. මම එල්ලුම් ගහ මරණීය දණ්ඩනය දෙන්නත් තීරණය කළේ මේ ප්‍රබල විදියට ව්‍යාප්ත වෙලා නිසා. මරණීය දණ්ඩනය තීන්දුව කරපුවාම අපේ ආණ්ඩුවේම කොටසකින් මම දැක්කා යෝජනාවක් ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තියෙනවා පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ගෙනවයි කියලා මරණීය දණ්ඩනය ඉවත් කරන්න පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ සම්මත කරනවායි කියලා. නමුත් මම සතුටු වෙනවා නීතිපතිතුමා ඊයේ පෙරේදා එවලා තියෙනවා වාර්තාවක් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ පුද්ගලික മന്ത്രിවරයෙක් විසින් ආණ්ඩු පක්ෂයේ වන යෝජනාව නීත්‍යානුකූල වෙන්නේ නැහැයි කියලා. මරණීය දණ්ඩනය ඉවත් කිරීම සඳහා.
After the formation of the much publicized new political alliance with the United National Party was cast into doubt yesterday as the inking of the relevant MOU was pushed back, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe revealed today that the proposed Democratic National Front will go ahead as planned, with it being established within the month. The relevant MOU was set to be inked today, however, with two banks within the party being at odds on the content of the new alliance's constitution, it had to be postponed. In a special statement from the Temple Trees, the Prime Minister, who is also the leader of the UMP, went on to shed light on several other crucial plans for the proposed alliance ahead of the upcoming presidential election.
We decided to register a broader alliance by the name Democratic National Front as a political party to create a new country and a modern society. All of these decisions are made democratically after discussions with all the parties. New proposals were presented during the final meeting we had after deciding on a date to form the new alliance. We realized that it's important to deliberate on these proposals. That is why we thought we need more time to finalize the agreement on the Democratic National Front. We have decided to form the Democratic National Front before the end of August. We are preparing a set of national policies for the party. Our future plans will be based on this particular set of policies. Anybody with knowledge of recent political trends will accept that it is difficult for a single political party to win a presidential election. This is why other political leaders, as well as myself, will not resign. Our only goal and attempt is to win the presidential election through an alliance led by the United National Party.
Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe is scheduled to testify before the Parliamentary Select Committee probing attacks on Easter Sunday tomorrow. Chair of the committee, Ananda Kumarasiri, told AdaDerana that several other ministers, including Defence Minister Ruwan Wijewardena, Ministers Sagar Ratnayaka and Ranjit Madhuma Bandara, are also scheduled to testify before the committee tomorrow. The Parliamentary Select Committee is currently in the process of recording evidence from a number of parties with regard to the Easter Sunday terror attacks and is expected to submit its final report before the end of August. Meanwhile, police have arrested 3 suspected members of the banned organisation Jamate Millatu Ibrahim, who had allegedly received training from the ringleader of Easter Sunday attack, Zaharan Hashim. Police spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara said that they were arrested by the Ampara police today and that one of the suspects is a student of the Southeastern University in Oluville. One of the 3 arrested suspects were identified as Muhammad Saifullah Haq, also known as Abu Shahid, who is a resident of Gelioya. He had allegedly attended the sermons held in Nuwara by leader of the National Tawhid Jamaat, Zaharan Hashim. An individual identified as Mushtaq Ali Amar, also known as Abu Hind, a resident of Walpoldenia in Mavanalla, who had allegedly attended Zaharan's sermon in Hambantota, was also among those who were taken into custody today. The other arrested suspect is Muhammadu Tihahir Hidayatullah, also known as Abu Turami, who had also allegedly attended Zaharan's lectures in Nuwara. The suspect is a resident of Mavanalla and is a student of the Southeastern University in Oluville. On to other local news. 3 provincial governors resigned from their positions last week, but today 2 of them were handed similar positions with a change of scenery, with a new face taking over the 3rd vacant position. The day's new appointments were not limited to governors, as 2 state ministers who oversaw cabinet portfolios on temporary basis following the resignation of Muslim ministers of the government were given the same portfolios but in a state ministerial capacity. They took oath before President Maithripala Sirisena at his official residence this morning.
Former Acting Minister of Petroleum Resources Development Anoma Gamage was appointed the State Minister with the same portfolio today. In the meantime, Lucky Jayawardena was appointed the State Minister of City Planning, Water Supply and Higher Education. He handled the portfolio previously in the capacity of Acting Minister. Meanwhile, President Maithripala Sirisena also appointed 3 new governors for the southern, central and Uva provinces. Maitri Gunaratna, who resigned last week as the Central Province Governor, was appointed as the Governor of the Uva Province. Kirti Tennakon, who stepped down as the Governor of the Southern Province, took oath as the Central Province Governor today. Hemal Gunasekara, meanwhile, took oath as the new Governor of the Southern Province.
The Court of Appeal deliberated today that former Northern Province Chief Minister C.V. Vigneshwaran's order to remove former Northern Province Minister Subramaniam Denishwaran from his post to be illegal. The decision was delivered by a judge bench comprising of Justices Mahinda Samayawardena and Priyantha Fernando. The court also ruled that the former Chief Minister's decision to appoint a new minister for the vacated position after Denishwaran's removal was also illegal. C.V. Vigneshwaran was also ordered to pay the estimated case fees to Denishwaran. Former Northern Province Minister of Fisheries, Transport, Trade and Rural Development Subramaniam Denishwaran lodged a case against Vigneshwaran over his removal from the ministerial portfolio on 23rd of August in 2017. Now, the question who would be the presidential candidate of the United National Party has been the source of great speculation, with UNP camp also split on the decision. The conjecture surrounding the topic does not seem to concern the party's deputy leader, Minister Sajid Premadas, as he continues to herald his readiness to take up the challenge. The Minister of Housing and Construction delivered his latest pledge on what he would do after being elected during an event held in Batticaloa recently, where he gave a reminder of the track records of Premadas's. At the event, Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Taranjit Singh Sandhu, meanwhile highlighted the larger scope for India and Sri Lanka to work together in the agricultural sector while insisting continued support from his nation to its southerly neighbour.
Two model villages of Gandhinagar and Muhyiddin Abdul Khader Gramam, constructed in the Batiklo district under the Model Village program of the Ministry of Housing and Construction and Cultural Affairs, was inaugurated recently. Subject Minister Sajid Premadasa and High Commissioner of India Taranjit Singh Sandhu handed over the completed houses to the beneficiaries. The Indian government has partnered with the Ministry of Housing and Construction to build 100 model villages with a total of 2,400 houses across Sri Lanka under Indian grant assistance of 1.2 billion rupees.
We will continue to support Sri Lanka in all areas, wherever and whatever needed. Currently, India has committed over $3 billion in development assistance to Sri Lanka. We are delighted that we have been able to complete a series of people-oriented development projects in the East, and that too all under pure grant. Your aspirations have been our priority. There is a lot of scope for us to work together in the agriculture sector. We are committed to undertaking more projects based on your requirements.
The world has seen 4 industrial revolutions. Unfortunately, our country has not taken advantage from any of these industrial revolutions. I will make a promise to you that with the mandate you give me in November, I will establish economic zones in every divisional secretariat and will allow you to be employed in your own hometowns. Ranasinghe Premadasa's son is ready for the challenge. Some ask me if I would win, but I would like to tell you that members of the Premadasa family never lose. However, this time it will be your victory.
Members of the United National Party meanwhile convened a special discussion at Temple Trees today to discuss plans ahead of the presidential election. A non-cabinet minister Sujiva Sena Singh, who spoke to media following the discussion, said that the party is considering to nominate as presidential candidate a member sought by the people.
මනින් අපේක්ෂකෙක් පත් කරලා මේ ජනාධිපතිවරණය ජයග්‍රහණය කිරීම සඳහා වැඩ කරමු කියන එක තමයි සියලු දෙනාගේම අදහස උනේ. මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන මැතිතුමා අපේ පක්ෂයෙන් පිට කෙනෙක් අපි ඒ වෙලාවේ ඉදිරිපත් කරලා ජයග්‍රහණය කරා. ඉතින් මේ අවස්ථාවේදී අපි පක්ෂය තුලම සියලු දෙනා පිළිගන්න ගම ඉල්ලන රට ඉල්ලන නායකයෙක් ඉන්නවා කියන එකත් අදහස් ප්‍රකාශ වුණා. රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මැතිතුමාටත් සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමාටත් එකට සාකච්ඡා කළා මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් තීන්දුවක් ගන්න කියන එක තමයි മന്ത്രിවරුන්ගේ ඉල්ලීම උනේ.
Inter-University Students Federation staged a protest opposite the Fort Railway Station this afternoon, demanding the abolishment of the Private Universities Act. The protesters later made their way to the Presidential Secretariat and requested they be granted a meeting with the President and Prime Minister. A tense situation, however, ensued when their request was not granted by officials. Riot police used tear gas and water cannons to disperse protests at the Lotus Road when they attempted to march through the police barriers placed at the entry to the road. And with that, we cross over to a short commercial break, but make sure you stay tuned for more local news right after that. Welcome back to the news. 12 deaths over the past 2 days owing to consumption of toxic liquor was reported from Pallevala in Medigama recently. The case, however, led to the immediate transfer of the OIC of Pallevala police following concerns raised by area residents over his inaction. They claimed that the illegal brewery was carried out with the knowledge of the Pallevala police.
Over the past 2 days, 12 deaths were reported from Pallevala in Medigama. It was discovered that the cause of these deaths were a result of the consumption of toxic liquor brewed illegally in the area. Over 20 other individuals are currently receiving treatment at the Ragama hospital. The post-mortem conducted on the victims revealed that the main cause of death is due to dehydration and heart complications. Area residents charged that police had turned a blind eye to the illegal brewery, which has been in operation for a long time, and that no action was prompted against the perpetrators, even until the deaths of 12 individuals were reported. When AdaDerana inquired the matter from the Pallavala police, we were told that the main suspect of the illegal brewery, identified as Kanchana Ajit, and its distributor Alipitiya Gedara Subasingha, have 9 pending court cases against each of them at the Attanagalla police related to illicit alcohol. The owner of the illegal brewery and an assistant who were arrested on Saturday were today produced before the Attanagalla Magistrates Court. They were later remanded until the 7th of August. Convening a media briefing today, however, police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara said that measures have been taken to transfer the Pallavala police OIC with immediate effect.
Now, yet another phase of the tree planting project launched in Vilpattu by the Sri Lankan Army together with the AdaDerana got underway at Marichakadi area yesterday. The object of the project is to inspire all Sri Lankans to plant more trees and to protect the natural beauty of the island. Meanwhile, the school Anand Shastrayala in Kotte organized a walk aimed at spreading awareness on the project as well as to raise funds. Funds raised by students through the walk were handed over to Sri Lanka Army yesterday. Well, we are going over to another commercial break and we will have business news right after that. The total number of international tourist arrivals to Sri Lanka during July this year was 115,701, an 83% growth compared to June 2019 when the arrivals were 63,072. According to the monthly tourist report by the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, India, United Kingdom, Germany, France and China were Sri Lanka's top 5 international tourist generating markets in the month of July this year. Furthermore, India was the largest source of tourist traffic to Sri Lanka with 16% of the total traffic received in July 2019. United Kingdom accounted for 11% of the total traffic, while Germany, France and China accounted for 7% and 6% respectively. However, the report states that compared to the same period last year, there was a decline of 46.9% when the arrivals were 217,829. Meanwhile, Sri Lankan shares fell for a 5th straight session today and closed at their lowest in more than 1 week as investors sold banking and telecom stocks. The benchmark stock index ended 0.09% down at 5,889.97, while turnover was 534.3 million rupees. Foreign investors bought a net 60.9 million rupees worth of shares, extending the year-to-date net foreign buying to 574.8 million rupees worth of equities. We now have a brief report on today's market performance.
The bond market actually dry up to the overall market was a standstill, still results in the yield curve remaining broadly unchanged during the day. In the stock market, Bros ended in a red for a 5th session and primarily dragged down by CCS and Sampath Bank. And turnover recorded nearly 2 weeks low, while 30% of the turnover derived from the retail and parcel trades in John Keel's holding. A net foreign inflow was witnessed amidst moderate foreign participation.
And on to the other stock news. Global stocks fell for a 6th day today as an escalation of trade tensions between the United States and China spooked markets and the yuan fell to its lowest levels in over a decade. MSCI's all-country world index, which tracks shares in 47 countries, was down 0.7% on the day.
European shares fell to two-month lows with the Pan-European Stock 600 index shedding 2% on top of the 2.5% it lost last Friday, its worst day so far in 2019 after US President Donald Trump signaled another round of tariffs on Chinese imports. Asian shares suffered their steepest daily drop in 10 months, with MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan sinking 2.5% to depths not seen since late January. Furthermore, the volatility index, also known as Wall Street's Fear Gauge, rose to 19.2%, its highest since May 13, while Europe's equivalent V2TX hit its highest since early January. S&P 500 futures ESC1 were 1.35% lower. Meanwhile, oil extended losses with US crude down 1.55% at $54.8 and Brent down 1.55% at $60.92.
The Sri Lankan rupee meanwhile slipped for a sixth straight session and ended at 176.95 to 177.05 per dollar due to imported dollar demand. The rupee weakened 0.25% last week but is up 3.2% so far this year against the massive depreciation last year. Here's a look at today's foreign exchange rates. And on to one of our headline-making news. India revoked the special status of Kashmir today in a bid to fully integrate its only Muslim-majority region with the rest of the country, the most far-reaching political move on the troubled Himalayan territory in nearly 7 decades. Interior Minister Amit Shah told Parliament the federal government would scrap Article 370, a constitutional provision that grants a measure of autonomy to Jammu and Kashmir, including the right to make its own laws. The government also lifted a ban on property purchases by people from outside Jammu and Kashmir, opening the way for Indians to invest and settle there like any other part of India, a measure likely to provoke a backlash in the territory. The entire region is disputed between India and Pakistan. Thousands of Indian troops had been deployed to the region ahead of the announcement, and tourists were told to leave. The move has been widely criticized, with some legal experts calling it an attack on the constitution.
जिस दिन भारत के राष्ट्रपति द्वारा इस घोषणा पर
US authorities investigating the murder of 20 people at an El Paso Walmart store announced that they will seek the death penalty and all are treating it as a case of domestic terrorism. Police said the suspect opened fire with a rifle on shoppers, then surrendered the 2 officers who confronted him outside the store.
I can tell you from the outset, the state charge is capital murder, and so he is eligible for the death penalty. We will seek the death penalty. The loss of life is so great. We certainly have never seen this in our community.
A 21-year-old white man arrested over Saturday's shooting in Texas is believed to have posted an online document calling the attack a response to the Hispanic invasion of the state. The motives of the Ohio gunman who killed his sister and 8 others on Sunday before being shot dead by police, however, remain unclear. United States was unnerved in the last 48 hours with 2 mass shootings taking place in a matter of hours. The mass shooting at a Walmart store in the Texas city of El Paso claimed the lives of 20 people while injuring another 26. The second mass shooting in Dayton in Ohio killed 9 people while injuring 16 others. The Texas shooting is believed to be the 8th deadliest in modern US history. On to sports news, Australian Nick Kyrgios won his 6th ATP title with a 7-6, 7-6 victory over world number 10 Daniil Medvedev at the Washington Open final yesterday. The Australian returned to the top 30 in the ATP rankings for the first time since 1st October 2018 as a result of the victory.
Australian Nick Kyrgios defeated third seed Daniil Medvedev 7-6, 7-6 at the Washington Open final yesterday. It was a tough match for Kyrgios as he suffered from back spasms during the match and a poor opening set, but overcame both to defeat the Russian.
Yeah, it's amazing. Honestly, you know, where I was 6 months ago, some of the things I was doing, and I was just putting myself in a really tough situation, and to respond like this, having incredible support, it's amazing. I've had people behind me backing me, and they never lost faith in me, even though I lost it in myself. And this week means a lot. I mean, obviously it's great to get the win, but you know, I've proved to myself and a lot of people that are backing me that I still have it and can still produce at the highest level.
Internal sources of Sri Lanka Cricket confirmed to AdaDerana that the contract of head coach Chandik Hathurisinghe will be terminated within the next 24 hours. His contract will cease when he has 16 remaining months as head coach according to the agreement. Meanwhile, it is also reported that Jeremy Jayaratne will temporarily fill Hathurisinghe's position if vacated. Speaking at a media briefing today, the Minister of Sports also mentioned that Hathurisinghe will not serve as the head of coach of the national cricket team in the upcoming New Zealand series.
හතුරුසිංහ මෙතුමා වෙනුවෙන් ඉල්ලීමක් ක්‍රිකට් ආයතනය කළා තිබෙනවා. එතුමන් ඉල්ලීමක් කරා කාලයක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්ද හතුරුසිංහ මෙතුමාට මේ නිව්සීලන්ත සංචාරයත් ඉවර කරන්න. මගේ ඒකේ ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. හැබැයි අර මම ඉල්ලපු විදිහට රීනෙගෝසියේෂන් එක කොහොමද කරන්නේ? يعني දැන් යාට $40000 ගෙවනවා නම් අපිට 25000කට 20000කට බස්සලා දිනන විදිහට ගෙවීමේ ක්‍රමය හදන එක හොඳ නැද්ද කියන එක. මගේ ඉල්ලීම උනේ ඒකයි. මම ක්‍රීඩකයන්ගෙත් මේගොල්ලන් පඩි දැන් දෙන්නේ එහෙමනම් ඒයි කෝච්චත් එහෙම කරන්න බැරි කියන එක තමයි මගේ ඉල්ලීම උනේ. පැය 24ක් ඇතුළත මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් එක්සිට් ප්ලෑන් එක කොහොමද කියන එක කියන්නම්කෝ. මේක කිව්වේ නෑ. දැන් අද මම එතුමාලට දැනුම් දීමක් කළා ඇරියා. එතුමාව නවසීලන්ත සංචාරයේ යන්න එපා පුහුණුකරුවා හැටියට. හැබැයි එතුමාට ලංකාවේ ඉඳලා ඒ කාලය ඇතුළත එතුමාට පුළුවන් ඕනනම් කැමති නම් රීනෙගෝෂিয়েට් කරන්න. එහෙම නැත්නම් එතුමා උසාවි පැත්තෙන් යනවා නම් හරි ඒක කරන්න සිදු වෙනවා. මම කොතනකවත් කිව්වේ නෑ අස් කරන්නයි. මම කිව්වේ රීනෙගෝෂিয়েට්. කොන්ට්‍රැක්ට් එක නවත්තලා රීනෙගෝ. මොකද මම කිව්වේ හැමෝටම performance based incentive එකක් දෙන්න කියලා. එයා චණ්ඩියෙක් වගේ කියනවා නෑ මට කොන්ත්‍රාත්තුවක් තියෙනවා ඒක වැරදිනේ. එතුමා ජොබ් එක හරියට කරනවා නම් මම එතුමාට ජොබ් එක ගන්නවා.
On to the Ashes, England surrendered on the final day of the first Ashes test, giving Australia a crushing 251-run win and a 1-0 lead in the series. Facing a battle to save the game as Edgbaston chasing daunting 298 runs, England at one stage lost 6 wickets for 37 runs. Off-spinner Nathan Lyon took advantage of the pitch to claim 6-49, while paceman Pat Cummins picked up 4-32 as the Tories surged to victory just before tea. And with that, we conclude this edition of First at 9. Thank you for joining us and have a pleasant evening.